It's season 4 and it's a fresh new episode series for us. Thanks so much for joining us for another episode of Enlightened Conversations, where each week we invite guests to share their views on the world, work and their personal lives in an enlightened way. Our hosts have been chosen especially to role model just how we do an enlightened conversation. Today's episode is hosted by Michelle Lightworker. Hi everyone, it's Michelle Lightworker here and welcome to Enlightened Conversations. I am so excited that I've got Tammie Pike with me today, all the way traveling around Australia, doing her thing with where the Wildlings go. And she's all the way down in Tasmania at the moment from Cradle Mountain. Welcome, welcome, I was going to say welcome, Tassie. Welcome, Tammie.
Thanks, Michelle. Thank you for having me. It's always a delight.
Yeah. And I just wanted to say, everybody, I've known Tammie for a while now. Tammie used to be one of our presenters on Enlightened Conversations for a while, and it was wonderful working with her. Just such a joy. Also supported me on High Vibe Hunter, doing work for 5D TV. And I'll also read her bio so that you've got more of an in-depth understanding of Tammie. But it's just such a beautiful joy to be rejoined to have a chat with you, because it's been a while, so it's lovely. It's just lovely to have you.
Awesome.
So I'll just let you know a little bit more about Tammie. Tammie's a mother, a speaker and a business creative, a born and raised small town country girl with nothing more than passion and a dream to empower herself and others. I can attest to that. Tammie is proud of the multiple businesses and platforms that she's created to inspire and showcase others. Very eclectic, like me too, Tammie, just lots of things going on. Tammie lets her curiosity, intuition and creativity lead the way, which has led to an extraordinary life that reads like fiction, from speaking on stage in India, publishing a worldwide digital magazine, publishing books, creating and facilitating retreats, including alongside her favorite author of Eat, Pray, Love, Elizabeth Gilbert in Fiji. Wow, that sounds incredible. As well as coaching small business owners on how to grow and find more freedom in their lives, and also living it. And that's always walk the talk. You're doing that. And very excitedly, this year, after building a successful service-based business with her husband, Nathan, they sold up their beautiful home and property earlier this year. That was over in Toowoomba, wasn't it, Tammie? Somewhere over that way. And
Yes,
you hit the road to live your dreams instead of just dreaming them. And welcome to this podcast today. Super excited. You can follow what Tammie's doing if you're interested in any more of the journeys that she's undertaking on the Facebook page where the Wildlings go, and you've got your 3 kids and you've got your husband and you've got your all sorted with your renos on your beautiful new accommodation. That was so cute. I love it in the background there. And how are you finding it? It's been a journey for you since February, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's been, I guess it's so interesting when what you've been putting out to the universe and dreaming and having, I don't like to say as a goal as such, but more of a desire to experience in life and to
Yes.
really be living it. It's been a huge transition for my children especially, but for us, I said to even my husband yesterday, Nathan, I just love it. Like, I love my caravan. It feels for me like I love kooky, cool little spaces, and I just feel so held and safe in the space as we explore and go around Australia. And Nathan is the most amazing driver who's got us out of some pretty crazy places, but we make an amazing team as well. But yeah, it's just been such a joy to experience. And I'm not just saying it's joyful all the time, because it's not. Like, living with 3 kids in such a small space, a dog and a husband, like, it has been so expanding. We've had so much growth in ourselves and seeing where our holes are and where our strengths are, especially as a family unit, which we would never have before. And we've gone through some pretty tough times in that integration, but we've come out of it, and it's just been such an amazing experience. And Tassie has embraced us with her magic, as she always does, and it's just so incredible to be here, and to think that it took 3 years from the idea to be at this point, but we've done it, and that's just so amazing.
That's amazing. And I know a lot of people want to do it. They want to hit the road, they want to travel, and they think that's, I guess freedom to them. But I can imagine like you take yourselves with you wherever you go. So there would be so much like unveiling of things, like you said, like in different situations that you wouldn't come upon. But so that's the different aspect of it. But then you'd learn about parts of yourselves you wouldn't have had the opportunity to learn. I guess, what are your maybe big three things that have been the most confronting and the most you've learned from?
Yeah, letting go of our property was massive.
Mm,
Learning to trust, because I've had this feeling in me that we needed to sell, like we had to sell to be able to
mhm.
fully live this life that is full of magic, and we live rather than just exist, which we were. And the property that we had for 11 years, and it held me through postnatal depression, the self-realization, spiritual awakening, all these beautiful things to who I've come into and stepped in, and the land held me, and the space was just, so magical and beautiful. But to let that go and know that was right was really difficult. And it did take my husband a long time. So really the biggest thing that was to trust myself completely in this decision, because not only was it for me, it's for my whole family. I was uprooting and changing their life completely and drastically, really, going from a big 80-acre property with all our animals and our
Mm.
home, it was huge. And then the second thing has been, I have so much time to think and to grow and see in myself who I am and what I am wanting, because I was so busy, Michelle. Like I
Yeah,
was, I
you're a little firecracker, Tammie. I can only imagine if look, I think similar energy, like when we get into things, right? And then we've got lots of things we say yes to, and then before we know it, we've just got so many things. So this, yeah, I can really feel it as you're talking. It's like, yeah, going from really, really, really busy to okay, like there's all this time.
yeah,
And
and
so yeah.
it's funny because I fully seen and am aware that the things I was doing in my businesses, because I had multiple businesses, I was seeking approval and
Mm,
accomplishment in that success of those businesses.
yeah,
And really it was superficial. There did come fulfillment with that and supporting others, but I was neglecting myself and my family and giving my best to others. And that was a huge realization for me. And so
massive.
having this time and unraveling the need to prove myself or achieve things, that is no longer there, because my days are filled with hanging out with my kids and, exploring the world and not getting
Yeah.
online and sharing my thoughts. And I have been very conscious of just, we have a platform to share our journey, but I'm not constantly experiencing something, then going, oh, how can I share that with
Mhm,
others now? I'm
mhm.
actually like, it's for me, it's for my
Yeah.
family. And that's been really healing, because most of my life I was seeking that approval everywhere else. And my success was based on, what other people thought or what I was succeeding in the world, because I was following other people's recipes for life.
Yeah, yeah.
And it
I
didn't
can
feel good for me.
I can relate to that. Like, I guess doing this way this time around, like, I think the last time I was doing Enlightened Conversations for the last 3 seasons, I was doing it through Lightworker Foundation, and it was about elevating enlightened enterprises. That was the actual logo, and for me, that was about other people. Like, but I was super excited to be interviewing them, and I got so much soul nourishment out of it. But this time around, it's actually because I just want to talk to people that I like, and totally selfish. This season is totally selfish. I just want to talk to people who I like, who grow me, and who I potentially haven't really in the last 4 years have time to catch up with because I've been in another realm doing other things. So I was super excited to catch up with you, and the fact that you're talking about this so resonates with me to my core, because I've just stepped into a lot of time, as we just mentioned when before we came on, and It's just about, what do I need to grow me? And I know I can hear it from your core, that you're saying that for yourself, is that you're doing things that grow you right now. And it's true, isn't it? It's authentic. It's, if anything comes of it, like, it's just going to be that whole, like, ripple thing. I'm healing me, so good. Hey guys, hope it benefits you. But
That's it. The thing is, I also come to realize it's not by doing, it's by being. And I think
Mm,
in the spiritual world, we hear this a lot, but it's actually knowing it and integrating that. You know what I mean? And
yeah.
again, I've had so much FOMO. I've had so much, I should be doing this. My business would be so successful if I kept pushing it, but I was
Hmm.
pushing it. I wasn't allowing. And in this time, I've seen how I want to do business, because I love business. Business is my
Mm,
jam. I love the creativity it allows. I love
mm,
going into other people's businesses and, getting in there, because I'm really good at seeing, the strengths and weaknesses and the systems they need, and, who they are as a person, and how it's good for them to show up rather than how they think they need to show up. But
mhm,
I'm not going into supporting more yet, but I can see how moving forward, like on this journey, I've met so many people who, when I open up again, want to work with me. But that's the thing, like this, like once upon a time, I'd be pushing and,
mm.
putting posts out there to get people. And it's just in a conversation. Usually it's my husband who starts it. He's so good. He's my best salesperson. and and he allows that space for connection and understanding of who I am, because sometimes it's hard to explain who we are, especially if we're multifaceted, which, I know
Yeah.
you are as well. And no
Yeah.
label can label that, you know what I mean? Not
Mm,
one
mm,
word. So it's the experience of being in my sphere that you start to understand the person who I am. If that resonates, it resonates. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And coming to the acceptance that just being me in my energy is transformational for all, not transformational for others. I don't want to say that, but it is an invitation. It's like my energy invites them to look deeper or to ask questions, or, things like that. And instead of me having the ego of going, I can help others, or I can help you find the answers, it's not that. It's just the invitation for them to question and seek that within themselves. Because I know, even when I was holding women's circles or retreats or things like that, for me, there was so much ego there that I didn't realize, because again, it was
mm,
like if someone had a transformation or an experience that was really wonderful for them, I was like, oh, that's because I held the space. You know what I mean? It was
mm,
really
mhm,
egotistical.
mhm,
And I get that, and because of the space that I was in. But over
mhm,
these last 18 months, especially as I've journeyed in different realms, I've come to see that people are already in that space of their self-healing, self-evolution. It's just that when we come together, we can sort of expand that or find different ways, it's like any book that you go and read. You find different bits and pieces from others through their story or their energy to help us, recalibrate ourselves, or, find different things in ourselves to grow with. So that's been really it's like I've hit another level, yeah, within myself, of
yeah.
not needing to prove anything in my work, in myself,
That's
and
awesome. I
it's a
love, I just want to,
continual journey.
I know,
Yep.
and it is, and I want to validate your level of humility on this, because it's not, I mean, it, it's not hard to say when you're humble, but it's not easy to say when you're not. So, I mean, I just want to validate it. Like, it's an incredible level of humility that you've got here. And my feeling is that when you're able to identify that for yourself, the beingness, being your authentic self, being doing things that grow you, from that space, and also for me coming in from a HR perspective now, that is what leaders need to do for their businesses and for their employees, so that they can actually keep and retain their staff, and that their staff are really super happy, and that their staff feel unique and they feel diverse and they feel validated for who they are, because they are different beings. And that's something I want to promote so bad. And so that, just from an aching part of my soul, not in from a business perspective, I'm just want that so badly for businesses to get on that train. So I feel like it's really awesome that you had that realization. And number three, what's your third biggest thing that you've learned?
Anything is possible. And when you really, like, people go, how did this even happen? And even in business, so we have a service-based business based in Toowoomba, and we have a team of 7. And like, we touch base with them and we can manage them through our systems wherever we are.
Hmm.
But it was through the knowledge that if we really create, like you said, that space for them to flourish and grow and find their zone of genius and be appreciated for that, we've been able to create our freedom by giving them the space to create their own freedom within their lives, within their positions or roles in our team. And I know this is a bit weird of a 3-1, but when we first started wanting to discuss, it was about, how I've created this, and it is through business. And it's given us, the financial security and freedom, like selling our property, like we're debt free. We let go of the material things. We sold everything up as much as possible, or things that we needed we've kept, but we've basically let go of the biggest things possible that in our 2D world we feel we have to have, but
Hmm.
really we don't. And letting go of that has allowed us to find the next level in ourselves to create that for others. So what I'm trying to express, I guess, succinctly, right, is that by following our dreams and doing what we really truly want to do, even though we have a really busy business, like it's huge, right, for us anyway, and in our team, it's always so full on, we've still been
Yeah.
able to create that space and manifest. So intentionality, always intentionality. When we have meetings, it's intentional. Sometimes our team members get a bit crazy, or not crazy, they get like freaked out with how things work in our business, because I will manifest, or whatever you want to call it in, co-create with the universe, because I'm so intentional. And for
Yeah.
instance, I just really want to bring this home, how easy it is to trust when you see something, but how hard it is to not trust when things aren't going your way. So
Yes, it's so true.
we had a pretty crazy incident, not crazy, but one of our guys left, and it meant that Nate actually had to go back to work for a few weeks, and we didn't know if we were going to come to Tassie. And I went to my husband, we need to be so intentional with this. So we had 2 weeks to sort this out. And in a workplace up in Toowoomba, where it's really difficult to find, plumbers and certified guys in our area, Nate's like, oh, we can't. I said, we can. We always do, and we're always supported. So I was really intentional. I put out the ad on a Monday. The Monday afternoon, I got a email to say, where can I send the resume? The Tuesday, we went through it, called it, booked in for the Wednesday for an interview. He had the interview. He started for 2 days on the Thursday, Friday to have a check-in, and he started Monday for that week. And he's fitted in beautifully, and we were able to come to Tassie. So
Wow.
intentionality is everything, and creating that supportive environment. I hope that answers your question. I know I sort of went on a tangent, but it all leads into what we've created, because not only are we
Anything's possible.
intentional, yeah,
Mm.
anything's possible, and intentionality has created this, but also with our business team. They
Mm.
are intentional now more with their time and their needs and desires, and that's created a really exceptional workplace and culture.
Oh, that's incredible. And it's like, who wouldn't want to work for people like yourselves that actually have that ethos? A lot of the word of mouth stuff starts to happen. It's like, oh, you really want to work
Yeah.
for this company, and so then that's the goodwill starts to occur around surrounding your business, and if you like, the good karma brownie points, and you'll get some really lovely employees who'll be drawn to that, and that law of attraction kicks in, and it's a beautiful thing when it's that organic and not pushy, like forcey. So wow, you've learnt so much, and it's just been six or just a little bit longer than 6 months, really, hasn't it? And I was thinking in August, I guess it was 6 months, so it's probably a bit longer than that, but still 9 months or something. It's a lot of learning in a very short period of time. How are you feeling about mothering and the kids? I guess that would be the main part of their school year. And how's the homeschooling going?
So it's all been a big growth. We got a parent coach on board, because we have a coach for, business and self-development and all that kind of beautiful stuff. And when we got into this caravan, I could see that there was a lot of stuff coming up with, our energies and our the way that we were parenting, because we were focused on so many different things. And so we got our parent coach, Anna Davis, on board, who again is next level spiritual, we needed someone who could go beneath the surface, and she has. And we've been journeying with her since February, and I cannot tell you the growth and expansion we've had, because we've had her to support and guide us, because we only know what we know, right? And we know it all boils down to us as parents, like what is in us, what is our trauma, what is our child, inner child going on in there. And so she helps us get to and pinpoint those areas so we can transmute and transform. And again, we're not perfect parents. We have arguments. We have, I don't want to say fights, but they, those kinds of things, because they still happen. But it's so easy to transform them. We've got the tools now to really create more harmony. And even in the kids, like, yes, they fight and have their own kid experiences, that kids do. We still can come out of that. We can still come into a space of being accepting or loving. Sometimes takes longer than others, but again, we have the tools that we can implement. And even that is rippling out into our family. Like when the cousins get together, if stuff happens there, we have the tools to create more harmony and, to be able to help them walk through those stages. So being a mum and traveling and doing business, for me, it fills my cup up, because I just don't do one thing. I have a need to explore and be in bits and pieces, but it's not lots all the time. But being a parent is 24/7. So I don't get bored being with the kids. We're with them all the time. We haven't got babysitters or anything in, because we love experiencing life as a family. That's our family. And I'm not saying if anyone doesn't experience it, that's fine. But for us, this is what we're loving, and that's why I think we're thriving in this experience.
That's so exciting. Like, I mean, wow, it's so insightful to get that support with Annie and have that awareness that stuff, gosh, like, yeah, as you said, like as we're parents, when we have children hit a certain age, that then becomes usually that becomes an issue that we get triggered at, whatever wasn't resolved at that age. And so then you've got you, and then you've got your hubby, and then obviously the kids are working through their own, how that their age might be affecting the others as well. And I think it's very again, that level of humility to go, okay, yeah, we're going to need some support with this. This is really going to be quite intense and good in lots of respects, but in other respects it's going to be really like at times because you can't just kind of walk away because you're in you know what I mean, like I just need some time out, like sometimes you can't do time out because you're literally in the same space. Wow. So on in terms of energetic mastery and containment of emotions and processing of emotions and that, I imagine it would be really turned up, the volume would be turned up.
Yeah, it's magnified. Everything's magnified. And I guess for me, my biggest thing I've learned over the probably last, 6 to 8 years being in business and self-development and all that beautiful thing is that I don't know everything. And if I have, and I feel my love language is collaboration. And if I feel I'm supported, I flourish. And so having other external support systems around me knows that I'm not alone. And when I have a meltdown or I'm struggling, I know I have someone I can turn to who is, who's a genius in their area. You know what I mean? Because we pay a lot of money for our business coach who's helped us to get to this point. It wasn't just an overnight success. We've been in that business for 9 years this year. And it was the only last 3 years that we actually grew it, because it was my husband's mindset that I was always fighting against to expand and to grow, but he was in fear. And so that took a lot of work, to help him feel confident and to grow and to let go of old conditions and programming and all that kind of stuff to open up. And because he's had that, in his parenting too, he's more open-minded. So it's because we've
Mm.
had a business, it's been the best self-development we could ever experience, because it's
Wow.
helped us grow in unimaginable ways. It's helped us open our minds and our hearts. And, working and having a team too has been incredible, because you have to learn to work with different energies or different, personalities, and how that all flows through. But it can create harmony. And when the challenges are there, it's not about freaking out. It's like finding a solution. And that's something we implement in with our kids, so everything
Mm.
in business that we learn, or personal development, all intertwines into parenting, into life, into, again, like I
Mm.
said, business and personal experiences. It's just incredible how it's, one big, I guess, yeah, it's all that intertwiningness that creates this magic, I think.
Yeah, and I think, like, well, when I first met my hubby, we decided that we were always going to work as a team, because that was really important to us. And so we created a team name, and so if we hit a snag, we'd be like, okay, what does the team think, like, what's best for the team? So we wouldn't make it about me, or we'd certainly put all the needs in the mix, but then we'd say, okay, what's best for the team? How's this going to benefit us? Who's got the highest need? So then if you've got the highest need, and that's going to affect the team, obviously, if that's not met. So yeah, it was yeah, more of a team thing. And then when we had Sarah and Phoenix, we would say, let's have a family meeting if something really big needed to be decided, like where we were going to live, or what, we'd say, what's the biggest important thing to you? What's the biggest important thing to you? And we'd make sure those boxes were ticked in whatever we progressed to do. And then where you've got actually a name for the wildlings. Do you have like a wildlings meeting? Like, do you call to court, like, let's wildlings in the court, let's talk? Let's have a
It's Yeah. It's funny you say that, because we do. We have meetings. We haven't actually, I have to be honest, we haven't had one for a little while, just because life was crazy and we didn't know what was happening, and we just boom. But
Mhm.
that's the thing that Anna taught us to do, is to have the family meetings. So you're so spot on. It's that communication and seeing children as equals, not as lessers,
Mm.
and that
Yeah.
their needs are just as important as ours. Theirs might be lollies or needing tech time or something. Their
Yeah.
needs are still very important to them. And so, we have to negotiate and talk about that. But I think that's just so important. And that's what is creating a much more connected family, rather than their hierarchical type
Mm.
of, structure that we've been taught. So, yeah, it's
Yeah.
definitely Michelle, without a doubt.
And I think there's a really big difference between entitled children who always get what they want, and children who are given the opportunity to express their needs, and also for adults to say, hey, well, within those needs, these are the choices that we've got. What do you reckon? And that actually helps them to come into the zone of, oh, realism, like, oh, okay, so they're my needs and these are the choices, rather than not hearing kids' needs as not important, which makes them feel invalidated and their self-worth goes down. Or just saying, what do you want? Oh, okay. And just doing every single thing that's got to happen.
Hmm.
Well, that's not realistic anyway in life. And so I think by actually being um, considerate of their needs, but also then realistic of what's going on. Like you said, things
Yeah.
were crazy for a time. You had Nathan having to go back to work, and I know you were renovating
Yeah.
your beautiful Odyssey to take you places, and so there's all this going in the mix as well. I think it's great, like life skills training. I mean, to do that,
Oh, yeah.
most parents wouldn't even know that that's what they need to do, really.
Well, if you ever think of traveling with children, I highly recommend it. We've been homeschooling pretty much since, I think it's been 6 years. We did have a
Hmm.
break at one stage where business, I just couldn't manage the both.
Hmm.
And so they went back to a small school for a year and a quarter, I think. And before they came, they were ready to come back home. And I was in that space too. But their conversation skills, their life skills, and their knowledge, it just opens up so much more. They're not sheltered, when you get on the road and you meet other people. And that's what I'm finding with my kids, because they join in our conversations all the time. There are, adult conversations that they don't take privy to, but most of the time they're in all of our conversations. And a lot of people that we meet can't believe the level of comprehension, their vocabulary, their understanding of life, and topics that we discuss, because there's no school that can teach this life to them, you know what I mean? And like you said, they learn resilience, they learn so much. And then, like, it's funny, when your kids are with you, you don't get to see all these amazing bits that they are when they're out in the world. And the response that we get is just so amazing. You go, wow, I shouldn't be so hard on myself as a parent, because they're actually amazing human beings, you know what I mean? Like, and that's been really cool, seeing that as we travel, because they get to talk to so many people, and their confidence are massive. And people get this idea that homeschooling kids are very shy or sheltered, and it's not true. It's like for any people, you have shy kids or sheltered kids in any sort of dynamics. But yeah, our kids are just so confident. They'll go up and meet new kids, and things like that. They're better than us, or better than me. He's good, but I'm like, just go read my book and stay in my little corner, and do my thing. So I'm a bit of a hermit sometimes.
Yeah, I'm similar. I think that's why I wanted to spark up enlightened conversations, because that's where I get to actually communicate with people that I want to talk to anyway. And then it's like I get to catch up, and people get, yeah, I don't know. It's kind of a weird thing, isn't it? I am a bit of an introvert, always have been. But I love people. So how do I put those two together? And so I love people though, but I only want to talk to people in a way that's kind of constructive and heart connected. And so how do I do that? And it doesn't come through socializing for me. It just does. I mean, I will go to an event for socializing, and you can kind of, but then it's loud, or things are happening and there's distractions, and it's just different. So I get what you're saying there. If I was traveling, I'd probably still want to do like some enlightened conversations so that I can keep connecting, but maybe then I'd have more time to have chats with people, like you're saying, like generally, and yeah, maybe I'd have more time for that, just to sit and chat to people about life, the universe, and everything on the way. Tony and I would like to do some more traveling as well. It's been a little bit tricky with COVID, but we've done a few things. Went down to the Granite Belt, went to Carnarvon Gorge, been up to Yeppoon a couple of times, been to Harvey Bay a couple of times, and we're thinking maybe we'll do Tassie.
Yeah.
And next year, and for a couple of weeks or something, I'll have to get all your notes on Tassie.
Yeah, no, it's amazing. And it seems like Tony's probably very similar to Nathan. He's very outgoing and he talks to people. So Nathan's my filter. He'll go out and find really amazing people. Like we went and stopped at our beautiful friends that we met up at Far North Queensland when we're coming down to Tassie, and we spent like 5 hours there, just having lunch and talking, and it was just amazing. So that works well, because the thing is, I feel so similar. I would love like this, or getting up on stage, but I don't want to be down in the crowd. I don't want small talk. I just, and I'm very shy. People don't think I'm shy, but I'm like, I don't go up to people to talk. That, if they come to me, let's have that conversation. But it's anyway, I feel it resonates deeply with what you said as well. So it's very interesting, huh?
It's super interesting, and I don't think there's a mistake we're having this conversation. There's just so many, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, well,
Yeah.
just I get bothered, like, contact Tammie.
Yeah.
Like, I get bothered, like, yeah, okay. And then I'm contacting Tammie. All right. So like, there's reasons for this. And I've got so much more to share with you, but I just would love to know. I'm bursting to know. So you're going up to Far North Queensland after Tassie. Is that right? And you're going to be doing something up there. Talk to me.
Yeah. So we haven't fully shared all the details yet.
Or am I being naughty?
Well, we can share a little bit, but what's really exciting, and look, this is another story, how it all unfolded, and it was so magical. And that's why I said my life just reads like a fiction, because people go, how the hell did this even happen? But we got given an opportunity to to work and possibly take over a property up at far north Queensland, where we get to just do everything we love. And I'll share more later in the year, but it'll be including retreats. We've got cabins, and my husband can do what he's always loved and dreamed of doing, and doing charter boat tours and fishing tours and things like that. So, and the beautiful little town, it's called Cardwell, and it's like this tiny little town on the coast between Townsville and Cairns, and it's just magical. Like, it's on Hinchinbrook Island, and it's the magic there is unbelievable. And the property has this gorgeous creek going through it, and at the back of it has this national park that's accessible only through our property. And like, it's got these waterfalls, and it's just like the magic is just surreal. And again, how it happened was just unbelievable. We weren't even supposed to pull in there. It's only that a friend suggested, you know, my mate, he has this property, caravans can't go there, but he opened up a space for us in his private camp area, and, you know, all this beautiful things, and it just grew. And so we come back on the boat on the 25th from Tas to mainland.
Yeah.
And then we go straight up to Queensland, pack everything up, take our animals, and head straight up to far north Queensland in Feb. So it's just, incredible. We're very, very excited about it, and the kids are really excited. So that's what's helped them ground throughout this period, is because they know we have somewhere to land, and that's really helped them as well.
Oh, definitely. It sounds mind-blowing. Tony and I wanted to go up to travel the area. I think it was probably like September, and because he had some things he had to do for work, we thought, oh yeah, we'll go up. But then it turned out that it was going to be really tricky to do. He had to do Townsville, and then he had to go from Townsville to Cairns, and it was going to be work related, so somebody was going to go with him, and last check, it didn't feel right, but we were super excited because there's so much beautiful. He said, oh man, it's so gorgeous up there, like, because they drove and they did the whole journey with the car, and he's got a jet ski, and so we just said, like, we are going to, when we do it, we're actually gonna, like, you know, do it properly instead of just have a rush job. Hopefully we can pop in and say hi, like, because
please do.
Have the kids ever been on a jet ski?
Yeah. Oh, no, our kids haven't. No. So they would love
okay.
that. Tom's been talking about it, so maybe he's manifesting it with you. So,
oh my God.
You know,
yeah, Tony's got a really good one.
Yeah, we had to go away from the crocodiles. That's the only thing up there is the crocodiles. But far north Queensland, I never wanted to go up there. I was not even interested until we wanted to go, you know, when everything worked out. It was winter and we wanted to get away. And Nath loves fishing up there. So I said, we'll go up there for Nath. And because I was going to move to the sunny coast. That was it. 3 years I've been planning towards the sunny coast. We came up the Cardwell Ranges, and I put the windows down. I was like my whole body was just going, oh my God. And I two-wayed Nate, because we took 2 cars. And I was like, babe, I think I could live here. And he was like, what?
Wow.
And I just knew. And then when we got to Butterfly Valley, then it was just on. Like, it was just like, it was all meant to flow and be. And it felt like I came home, and I was like, what the heck?
Oh, I love that. And sometimes you don't know, do you, until you actually hit a place. Oh my God. And there's something that happens to your energy, and you just know. It's just like Butterfly Valley sounds amazing. Like, I'm just imagining. I just don't. I've just got, like, when you started talking about it, I just had goosebumps from head to toe, like serious goosebumps. And I was like, oh my God, this is going to be so amazing. And I'm really super excited, and thank you for sharing it. And I appreciate that, because I understand it's all about intention and co-creation as well. I'm a big believer in that, and I don't share everything with everyone. I only share what I feel guided to share with the right people. So I know the people listening will be the right people hearing this, and I'm going to invite everybody who's listening to please co-create this wonderful manifestation with Tammie, because I'm certainly sending my high vibes along for you guys to manifest it beautifully with ease and grace and joy.
Oh, thank you so much, beautiful woman. I love chatting to you all the time, you know that. And so it's been so good to reconnect. And thank you for everyone watching. And remember that be wild, live your life in a way that feels good, and, step out of your comfort zone, because that's where the magic is. I know it's said over and over again, but it's so true. And really listening to yourself is the biggest thing. Like,
Yeah.
even if it feels so like uncomfortable and everyone thinks it's wrong, just do it. It feels, in the end, the results are amazing.
Anything is possible.
Anything is
that.
possible.
Thanks so much, Tammie. I appreciate you joining me today, and I'm going to be watching your journey and feeling into your journey some more, and hopefully we can keep chatting.
Excellent. Thanks, Beauty. Sending so much love. Bye.
Thanks, everybody. See you next week. Bye.